Did you write Exile on Front Street yourself?
I did.
Hmm. What does it mean to be exiled and on Front Street or out bad?
Well, today it seems to be the new norm. Everybody that's in an outlaw bike club, when they leave, they're out bad now. It's kind of, I started a trend maybe, when I left. But, there's a saying not only in the outlaw bike world, but I think in the outlaw world at large, that dude put me on Front Street. So, they put me on Front Street. They exiled me. Being exiled, you go off and you live your own little world. But not only did Sonny wasn't happy, he wasn't satisfied that I had left the club. He had to attack my character and everything I stood for and built. You being in that outlaw realm yourself, that your name and your word is everything. And
Everything.
when somebody attacks it, you have to take it personal. So, I could have laid down and not did anything. I was willing just to go on my own and retire and kind of take life easy. But when they started attacking my character and my morals and whatnot, I felt I had to write the book. They told me I couldn't write the book. I wrote it anyways. I was told I couldn't do the show. I did a stage show called Outlaw. I was told I couldn't do the stage show. Told I couldn't go to Spain and make the movie. I don't do this stuff to entice anybody in anger. I do this stuff because I want a historical record of my own life. I don't need somebody around that is going to rewrite history about what I did. I'll write myself. People can read it and they can judge if I'm telling the truth or not. I don't want some square 30 years from now writing a book about me.
You better believe it. That's
all right, man.
That was one of the reasons I did it as well.
I hear you.
And especially now, we know that that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Why did you share so much about your relationship with your first wife in this book?
I felt I owed a lot to her. You're talking about Cheryl?
Yeah.
Well, she's my high school sweetheart. I felt I owed her a lot. She gave me two great kids. I have two other children, and my first wife was right there. She participated in just about everything I did. And I felt that I just felt she had that coming, I guess. Yeah.
It gave a lot of insight to what it is like to try and balance a life that is of total dedication to a way of being that is outside of social norms, like way outside of social norms, and then at the same time maintain one of the oldest considered to be institutions of social norms, which is marriage,
right,
and fatherhood, right? And you seem to try to be as dedicated as possible to both, but you came into a lot of conflict with your first wife, and it would seem that she had, as you stated, some sort of psychological, emotional, maybe developmental problems that made it difficult for her to relate to you as a wife would be expected to, and so forth. And it was very honest and very forthcoming. And I thought that as a person who comes from the life, to be that open about your personal relationship, it stood out to me as particularly brave.
Well, I wanted it to be fair, and she had passed, and I on certain levels I felt maybe I had let her down as a husband and partner. I mean, we were high school sweethearts. I think that I didn't have all the tools that maybe I have now. Maybe I could have done a better job, but it's history, and I can speculate all day long, and I don't speculate and I don't do hypotheticals like people write me all the time with these hypothetical questions, and I write them back respectfully. I go, hey, I just don't do hypotheticals. I mean, who knows? But I wish wherever she's at, I hope she's happy, and I think she is happy. I just have that feeling. I'm in a really good place in my life, and I'm very happy. The person I'm with now was good friends with her, my wife, Beverly, and we all kind of grew up together. And I was good friends with Beverly's husband. She was married to him for 56 years. He was a good friend of mine. So I'm at a real comfortable place in my life. I'm very happy and feel like a kid
That's
again.
awesome. That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
So what was the best thing about being a Hell's Angel?
I think the freedom on the early freedom on the motorcycle, no boundaries. And, one of the things that I think changed was, when I first came around the club, it was a real live and let live philosophy and society. And, somebody was a little odd and they were doing something, hey man, more power to them, and it seems, that's not quite there the way it was at one time. And I think that was one of the things I missed. And that was one of the things that drew me to that lifestyle was just being able to be free, be a free thinker, thinking outside the box. If you talk about thinking outside the box, well, being an outlaw, you got to think outside the box.
That's right. Because that's where you live.
What's that?
Yeah. Because that's where you live.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the worst thing about being a Hell's Angel?
The worst thing was all the law enforcement scrutiny and the links that some of them would go to. They would break the law to enforce the law. And I thought that was very hypocritical. Do I have any ill feelings about the Hells Angels or the lifestyle? No, I have ill feelings with some people in law enforcement because they just took it too far. I'll give you an example. There's a local thing in the Ventura. There's a little magazine, a weekly magazine. It's very popular in Ventura. And every year they have, the top 10 this, top 10 that. And they had the top Ventura mover and shaker. And one of the years I came in first place and the district attorney came in second place. And he took that personal, man. And, I had people in law enforcement tell me, they go, this guy's gunning for you, man. He can't believe you're the number one mover and shaker in Ventura. That had my picture on the front of the magazine. It said, Ventura's number one mover and shaker, George Christie. And, he took it personal, man. And, I find that stuff comical, but it's also harmful, like he came after me, but he also affected my family, affected my wife, my children, my mother. My father was gone by then, but all because he didn't get a title. He takes that power that he has and wields it like a sword because he's not happy.
Right.
It's just not right, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, man. I appreciate your time and your insight and your wisdom, brother. Is there anything that we should be looking for? Where should people look for George Christie to pop up next, man?
Well, they can go to my podcast, Speak of the Devil. We got 8 episodes up. We got season 1's completed. We're still doing the edit. Nick Wong is doing some great editing on it. And, he's a director, photographed everything, and he's really putting it together in a unique way. And I'm going to start having guests on there. And I'm going to start probably reading. One of the things we'd like to do, what I want to do, is I want to read my books myself on the podcast, and then I want to comment on them. And so, we're coming up with some stuff. These guys, the producers, are very creative, and all my time is focused on that. My new book, Crossing the Rubicon, I'm working on that. A lot of things. I want to write about myself and Sonny, how we were different as leaders. And, it's not a book attacking anybody's character. It's a book about leadership styles.
Excellent. Excellent.
But I'm around, my friend.
Well, I'm looking forward, man. I know that when I get back out to the LA, I will be pulling up on you, bro.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Looking forward. Thank you, George.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
for
it.
your time, and take care. Travel wisely.
Be careful. Yeah.